Hello everyone, in this video we're going to draw a Triceratops. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the head. An easy way to draw a circle is to first make a couple of small marks to indicate the circle's length, and then on the sides make a couple more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then just connect the small marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. The circle doesn't have to be perfect, but if you're having trouble drawing one, just trace the outer edge of a coin, a bottle cap, or anything else with a circular edge. Inside the head, draw a curved horizontal line. This is a construction guide that will help you place the facial features later. On the top right side, draw a curved vertical line for another construction guide. On the bottom right side of the head, draw a small circle as a guide for the muzzle. Make this circle about half the size of the head circle. The bottom right side of this circle should be outside of the head. On the top left side of the head, make a small mark for the first part of the frill. On the sides of the head, make a couple more small marks for the bottom edge of the frill. Connect the small marks using curved lines to finish the guide for the frill. The shape of the frill should be similar to a half circle. Sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also pause the video as you follow along to draw at your own pace. On top of the head, draw two long vertical lines as guides for the horns. Draw the line on the right more tilted than the line on the left. On the bottom right side of the head, draw another circle as a guide for the front part of the body. Use the small marks method to draw this circle too. First, make a few small marks to indicate the sides of the circle, and then connect the small marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. Make this circle about 1.5 times the size of the head circle. Farther to the right, draw another circle as a guide for the back portion of the body. Make this circle slightly bigger than the circle for the front part of the body. Don't overlap the front part of the body as you draw this circle. On the bottom left side of the front part of the body, draw a long vertical line as a guide for the front leg. At the bottom, curve the line slightly to the left. To the right, draw an angled line as a guide for the other front leg. Bend the line a couple of times to indicate the joints. Under the back portion of the body, draw a long angled line as a guide for the hind leg. Bend the line a couple of times near the middle to indicate the joints. To the left, draw a short sloping line as a guide for the other hind leg. On the right side of the body, draw a curved horizontal line as a guide for the tail. Below that, draw another curved line to make the shape of the tail thicker. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Inside the head, lightly sketch a small circle for the eye. Place the eye above the horizontal construction guide and about halfway between the vertical construction guide and the left edge of the head circle. Make the sides of the shape a bit pointier for the corners of the eye. Inside the eye, draw a tiny dot for the pupil. Draw a series of curved lines around the eye for creases. Follow the shape of the eye as you draw these lines. Inside the small circle at the bottom, draw a curved line for the first part of the muzzle. Draw the line close to the right edge of the circle. At the bottom, draw a line that curves to the left for the mouth. Make the bottom right side of the mouth pointy. On the left side, draw a curved line to create the beak-like structure. Don't draw this line too far to the left. At the bottom, draw another curved line for the lower section of the muzzle. Follow the path of the initial circle as you draw the line. At the top, draw a short wavy line for the bottom edge of the open mouth. The bottom part of the muzzle should be similar to a half circle. Inside the mouth, draw a couple of curved lines for the tongue. Above the beak, draw a small triangular shape for the horn on the muzzle. Place the horn on top of the horizontal construction guide and close to the right edge of the head circle. Make the top tip of the horn pointy and the bottom curved. Add a few curved lines at the bottom for the base of the horn. Inside the muzzle, draw a small curved shape for the nostril. Use the long line on the top left side as a guide to draw the horn on the head. First, lightly sketch the shape of the horn around the guideline. Make the sides of the horn wavy. Draw the base of the horn wide and then gradually make the shape thinner at the top. Use the line on the right as a guide to draw the other horn the same way. Draw the shape of the horn around the guideline. Use wavy lines to make the horn curved. Add a few short curved lines along the bottom edges for the bases of the horns. Use the curved shape around the head as a guide to draw the frill. Darken the lines to create the shape of the frill. Draw a series of small triangular shapes along the path of the frill for a bumpy texture. Don't make these shapes too big. Don't overlap the horns as you draw the frill. Draw a few curved lines within the shape of the frill to give it structure. Below the eye, draw a curved angled line for another bony section on the head. This shape should be similar to the letter V. Darken the guidelines at the bottom to create the lower edge of the head. Add a few more curved lines within the shape of the head for the bony structure. Under the head, draw a couple of short curved lines for the neck. Use the angled line under the front part of the body as a guide to draw the front leg. First, lightly sketch the shape of the leg around the guideline. Make the bottom edge of the shape curved for the foot. Make the section right above the foot thin. Curve the edges of the leg along the path of the guide. When you get the shape of the leg right, darken the lines. Use curved lines as you darken the shape to create the muscle structure. Extend the top part of the leg close to the top edge of the body. Along the bottom edge of the foot, draw small triangular shapes for the claws. Make the tops of the claws round and the bottoms thin and pointy. Use the line to the left as a guide to draw the other front leg. First, lightly sketch the shape of the leg around the guideline. Make the shape of the leg wide. When you get the shape of the leg right, darken the lines. Draw a series of small triangular shapes along the bottom edge of the foot for the claws. Extend the top part of the leg so that it connects to the head. Use the angled line on the far right side as a guide to draw the hind leg. Just like with the front legs, first lightly sketch the shape of the hind leg around the guideline. Bend the shape of the leg along the path of the guide to create the joints. Use curved lines for the muscle structure. When you get the shape of the hind leg right, darken the lines. Draw a series of small triangular shapes on the foot for the claws. Use the line to the left as a guide to draw the other hind leg the same way. Lightly sketch the leg around the guide and only darken the lines when you get the shape right. Use the remaining shapes and lines as guides to draw the rest of the body. Simply darken the outer edges of the guides to create the shape of the body. Add a couple of lines on the underside of the body for creases. Now erase the initial guidelines. The next few steps are sped up so that the video isn't too long. You don't have to erase all of the guidelines. It's okay if you leave some behind. Redraw any of the final lines that you may have accidentally erased. Now shade your drawing. Use a medium value across the entire body. Shade lightly at first and gradually build up to darker values. To create light values, push down very lightly on your pencil, then push down harder to create darker values. As you shade, use strokes that follow the curvature of the shapes. Use a slightly darker value to create shadows. Shadows will give the figure more dimension and volume. Use a very light value or leave sections blank to create highlights. Darken the final lines to emphasize the shapes. Draw a series of small curved lines along the top part of the body for bumps on the back. Draw a cast shadow at the bottom using a medium value. Add a series of small circular shapes across the body to create a pattern on the skin. Shading can be time-consuming, so be patient and take breaks. Keep shading until you're happy with the result. And that's it for the Triceratops. Don't forget to pause the video to draw at your own pace. Also, please visit howtodrawanimals.com for more tutorials. That's how, and then the number 2, then drawanimals.com. If you'd like to support my channel, please consider buying my books on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe for more videos in the future. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.